might come through.
It's all right.
Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and let's get ready for EJ Boxing Live.
Yo, what's going on, people? EJ Boxing Live here, and yeah, we're here to cover the topic: Zhang Ziyi versus Joyce. And I have a very special guest. We have my man Alex, strength and conditioner coach from the famous All Stars Boxing Club. And we're gonna go over it and talk about this potential matchup happening. I believe it's happening in let me see the date. Is it April? April, I think it's happening in April, but it's a very intriguing match in the British boxing. And I tell you what, BT Sports is doing very well. You know what I mean? They're doing very well in terms of getting some really good fights coming. So it's happening. Where is it? Yeah, it's happening in April. April the 15th on BT Sports. I think probably because of no one knows who Zhang Ziyi is, right? It'll probably be on normal channel. What's going on, Alex? How you doing?
Yes, EJ, I'm good, everything good, man.
Yeah, everything blessed, yeah. So yeah, man. So Alex, Zhang Ziyi, I don't know if you saw the Philip Hogan fight, but you definitely saw Joyce versus Joe Parker. What do you think about this matchup happening on the 15th of April?
Well, I don't know. I think Joyce gonna deal with him good, man. Cause yeah, Joyce is a force to be reckoned with. He's not a pretty boxer, but yeah, he looked like can take a punch, and yeah, he come through his challenges so far, didn't he? So
yeah. But you see this matchup, yeah, it's good because they couldn't get with Joyce. There's not many guys. You know what other thing as well? That Zhang Ziyi, like the Philip Hogan fight, people potentially said he won that fight. When I looked, he was outworking Philip Hogan to me. You know what I mean? It looked like he outworked him. It looked like he won, but he didn't get the decision. And he's one of them guys. I think that him and Philip Hogan, they fought in the amateurs. He also did Joshua didn't fight him. But other heavyweights fought him though. But he's been a top heavyweight, but he's old though, man's near 40, But actually, Joyce, him and Joyce, they're around the same age. I'll pull it up in a sec.
yeah,
They're older. But go on, they're old though.
Yeah, they're both top level internationals as amateurs. So it's a good matchup, Yeah, I can't remember the fight. I do remember Philip Ergowich fight the Chinaman, but I don't remember exactly what happened. Huh?
You see the Parker fight? You saw the Parker fight though, innit?
Yeah.
When Joyce stopped Parker, him stop Parker. You see that one, right?
Yeah.
But go ahead. Sorry.
No, as I said, it is what it is. I think Joyce gonna deal with him just because Joyce is the more relevant guy right now, and I don't know how much pro fight what's his name, Zhang Ziyi have?
He has 24 with 19 knockouts and he got 1 loss. He's 39 years of age. He's 6'6". How many amateurs? Let me see how many amateurs he had. He had loads of amateurs. Sometimes he had loads of amateurs. They say he got 28 amateurs, but he had more than that, yeah, usually. But he definitely, when he fight, he lost his last amateur fights, and he fought in Havana, in Cuba. Yeah, he fought Andy Joshua. He did. He fought Andy Joshua in the Olympics in 2012. You see what I'm saying? I've got it here right now. Let me see. He fought? Yeah. So he fought in the Olympics. He won, and then he lost against Anthony Joshua in the Olympics. So they was actually looking for him they was actually looking against him as an opponent. He actually fought Joe Parker. I'm looking at it right now. He beat Joe Parker in the amateurs as well. But see, Joyce in the amateurs is a monster, but he beat everything as well. He fought
Yeah,
everything as well.
that man,
He,
it's mad.
you know, he's
He don't look pretty when he box. He can do all the backflips though.
yeah. You know, that Zhang Zi, he beat Andy Ruiz in the amateurs as well. You know,
Okay.
over three 4 rounds on the world boxing thing. He beat him in the pre-Olympic tournament, super heavyweight. They got
Okay.
yeah, man. He beat him. I think bro. He just listen. I'm going through the resume now. I'm surprised, bro. He lost against Kubek Pulev, but he's fought. You see, as you can see, he's fought in the amateurs. He's fought all the top guys in the amateurs. Yeah, I'm surprised that he's 39 years 40. But this is a good fight, you know. But he's very durable. You know what I mean? It's a very durable, good fight.
Yes.
I think it's I think it's Joe Joyce's toughest test.
Yeah. Well, if Joe Joyce can't pass him, he's not gonna go anywhere, really, is he?
Yeah, because this guy's old. Joe Joyce is he stands 6'6" as well. Joe Joyce is 37, and Joe Joyce had 15 fights with 14 KOs. So Joe Joyce has been putting them out, bruv. He's been laying them out, bruv.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Go ahead, Alex. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know too much about, to be honest with you, EJ, I don't know too much about either of them, you know. I do know Zhang Zi fight Parker, and I do know he fight Ergovic. But up until them, to be honest with you, I never heard too much about him. Whereas that's why I said Joe Joyce is more relevant, but that's just me, you know. To me, obviously, people, hardcore fans, they probably know about this man more than me. But from where I'm standing, is more Joe Joyce who is more relevant right now, you know.
All right,
yeah.
then. All right. So anyway, you've already picked already. You're saying Joe Joyce should beat him because, you know, in the day, Joe Joyce is the most relevant one. And he had a good, impressive win over the durable Joe Parker. And you know, I think it's a very credible fight. I think the winner out of this fight definitely deserve fight Usyk or Tyson Fury if they can. But he's ordered. But this is WBO interim, so you know whoever wins this fight is definitely in line for a shot against Usyk. And well, the funny thing is, I think Usyk beats both of them if they fight in the amateurs. But in pro, when you got 12 rounds with small gloves, it might favor the bigger man them. You know what I mean? Because Usyk's getting on a bit. So we can move on. We can move on to some of the stuff in the weekend, innit? In the big weekend, where we have the last fight. What was it? Who fought this weekend? Last weekend? Was it Eubank? Was it? What was it? Better BF versus Yard. There you go. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the one. Go ahead. Give us your take on that one. And who did you pick in that one? Go ahead.
You don't know me, man. I picked the A round already 2 weeks ago. I done told you, look, the Better BF gonna done my brother. He's gonna done him in the 8th round. And the way I predicted that is, I did say that Yard have to come out strong, and the Better BF gonna withstand that pressure. And but by round 6, Yard gonna fade, and he's gonna be ready to go in round 8. And that did happen. So, but on the other hand, I didn't think that. To me, what it did look like is that Better BF was slowing down more than what I thought he would slow down, and Yard slowed down less than what I thought he would slow down. So that was that one for me. But I already knew Better BF was going to win. I'm a fan of them, man, because how they train, I'm a fan of them. I already said that in our group chat, how they train. I'm a fan of that. You know, very strategic, covering all the bases properly. You know, not just specific boxing training, but also, you know, the physical part of it. And it showed, you know, and it's the proof in the pudding that to build a robust fighter, you need to do the supplementary work. And so
no, man, but you see, the thing is, because I remember you put in the group chat, you put in you know, the workout and, you know, his training regime and stuff like that. But
I'm a fan of that.
Yeah, I know. That's why I say you're strength and conditioner. But you see, the thing is, I you know, in the day, to me, there was nothing in the resume. I always go by resume. Look, me and you get into it one time. where I call Lethan Wood a bum, yeah. And you said, well, he ain't no bum, he won British and Commonwealth, right? But I said the guy who was fighting Kanzu is like, he should be able to beat him because he's been on world class. We go, no, man, you can't underestimate, they're not bums. Now, see the thing, and let's break down the term bum, yeah, in my opinion, yeah. Bum meaning it's like you haven't fought top opposition. That's what I mean, but I don't mean they're rubbish, like they're no good, they shouldn't even be a pro. No, I just feel like they haven't fought top competitions because, you know, bum means to other people different things, but, you know, bum means it's a disrespectful term in boxing. It just means like it's very, very derogatory. That I acknowledge. And obviously Lethan would beat Kanzu that time. So I was right. You was right about in terms of that fight. I said, all right, cool. You know, I gave props on that one. But in general, when it came to Yard's resume, in my opinion, the word bums, yeah, was used, bro. It would be used, but I didn't use it. But that's what I was thinking. Now you look at Burpee's resume, you say, yo, it's tight. I always go by that. That's what I go by resume. His resume's tight. He's supposed to win. Yard is supposed to come in there and upset it. How can he upset it when really and truly he ain't got nothing? There's no meat in the bun. There's no thing. And every time he step up, he lose. Now, 2 times him step up, 2 times he lose. All right, the first time him step up against Kolev, he only got 1 round. Everyone said, yo, he done very well, but he lost. See, sometimes you have to tell the truth, but the media will hype it. The second time he went against Lyndon, the second time he stepped up against Lyndon for the British Commonwealth belt, right? And he lose that. And it's like, okay, you win in the rematch, but you lose. But obviously you can work out from losing how to get better. And he did that. He got better and he come back and stopped Lyndon Arthur. Congratulations. But can he do it against Burpeee, who's never lost and he's got the most KOs and 100% knockout win? How would a Yard with the resume he got beat him? I said, I can't see it. But he put up a decent fight regardless. But I just couldn't see him winning overall. What's your take on what I'm saying? You agree?
Yeah, you know, it's true what you're saying about the resume. You know, I did listen to the other guys on that the thing that was on the group chat as well. That was a long talk with the 2 American guys and the other brother that's on our chat. Man, it was a good talk. But one of the guys, his name Maestro, not Maestro, one of the American guys, he was saying Yard have power. Yeah. But has he got proven power on the world stage? No, he doesn't. Yes. Yeah, and I can see that point, and it make a lot of sense. And the other thing was that
about Yard.
Yeah, about Yard was that
the trainer.
That they were saying, one man was saying, oh yeah, Better BF was hurt, this and that. Yeah, when you're talking about an average man, man get hurt by a punch, but we're talking about fight sports. These people prepare. So just because you take some lick, don't mean you get hurt. You're not getting hurt, so you're vulnerable. And Better BF was never hurt, and he was never vulnerable. So you can't say Yard hurt him. So yeah, man. Yard didn't have nothing for Better BF, really. He didn't have nothing.
When you watch the fight with a critical eye, right? I think people, because Yard, he was so underestimated, they was happy he did well. But to be honest with you, I give him 2 rounds. I think I gave him 2 rounds in the fight. I gave it 2 rounds to Ting, yeah. But he was every time Yard step up, my man step up even further. And that come into, like you said, his strength and conditioning. Where
it's called the gears, man. It's man. Called the gears. Like you have to. It's like you have to. Like you said not long ago, it's a 12-round fight. And one of the. Listen, I was a fighter. One of the main thing is that you have to can do is pace yourself. You need to can go through the gears. You need to can go onto the back foot, give away a few rounds if you need to, and then come back and step it up a level. And when the other man is fatiguing, and that's the key to 12-round boxing. You know.
Let me ask you a question, right? Let me ask you a question, Carl. You're a man who mentions age and them thing, because the big thing about coming into that fight there, they were talking about the age, and obviously they were talking about the age of Joe Joyce and Zhang Zi. We're talking about the age. Now, in boxing, to me, right, age is about damage control. You see me? If a man's been knocked out and beaten up in a couple of fights, I feel in boxing he's old. Now, what they meant Yard is young and fresh, but he hasn't experienced, and this is where they say the lack of experience. I don't think he getting that true grit, true grit, hard sparring where he get knocked down in sparring. Like people's like, why would you get knocked down in sparring, or why would you have a rough spar? Because that means you're being tested to see what kind of your resiliency, right? And a lot of time when you look at Yard and them things there, when he got tested in them waters, he fails. You know what I mean? He come back, but he won't. You know, he come back a bit, yeah. But Beterbiev is comfortable in the uncomfortable situations, and that really, really will test as a champion to see how you react. And Yard, he reacted a couple of times in there, but after a while, it was just too. There was two. You can see the gulf in the class because Yard was doing these rat-a-tat-tat combinations the same when he does it with Tunde on the pads, where Beterbiev was waiting and watching for these big punches. Every time he stopped, he was waiting to load up. That's what he does. He loads up and hits hard. He doesn't fire no pat punches. And that was to me that was the difference in that when Yard was kind of doing his pat attack combinations where Beterbiev was loading up. Now let me ask you about the age thing. Now going into the fight, they were selling it that my man's old. What was your take on that one?
Yeah, what you have to understand where age is concerned, when we're talking about the heavier weight categories, age is not as important as in the lower weight categories. You know, big man mature slower. So and the dynamics of the fight is different. If you're looking at a lightweight contest, probably up to about welterweight, more punches are thrown, footwork is faster, and that's where age have a larger effect on performance. But when you're looking at the heavier weights, you know, the age does make a difference, of course it does, but it's not to the extent that it is in a younger, in the lighter weight categories. And then the next thing you have to understand is, if you have a proper training strategy and proper, they call it long-term athlete development, and the Russian man is masters at that, is a long-term athlete development strategy where you're aiming to perform for years. So, you know, it's how the thing is structured, coming through the amateur system and developing as a fighter without taking, you know, undue damage, as you might say, or undue wear and tear on the body. And if you do that all properly and look after the thing, and remember, Beterbiev live clean, money live clean, man don't drink, that man live clean, yeah, probably clean, like, you know, very clean, you know.
He's Muslim, he's Muslim, innit? He's Muslim, and
he's a Muslim brother, yeah, man.
Guy,
and we
he's
live
a Muslim.
clean.
Yeah.
So, you know, and that makes a difference how what you feed your body with. Like some of these Englishmen, they live clean for 12 weeks and then they go back to Big Mac and chips. And if you want to be lasting as an athlete at top level, especially in hard sports like any kind of fight sport, it can't work like that. That's why you have to also manage the weight cutting and all of that properly. You're supposed to walk around close to your fighting weight, you know. So it's a you know, it's a multi-dimensional thing.
That. Let's talk. Yeah, I agree with that. Now let's talk about the rankings, because there was a debate on you're talking about on the Undefeated podcast with was it Travis and KG talking about, they were debating with the other guys on that thing about the way they rank. Now Ade from the Zone Boxing, he came over and said, and I think Travis agreed that they should be number one. Yard should be number one light heavyweight in the country. Now I've got the rankings here, right? So I'll just do the top five, because the top five is relevant, you know. They got Callum Smith number one, Joshua Boatsy number two, Andy Yard number three, Dan Aziz number four, and they got Craig Richards. So I'll leave it as that, and then obviously you got Lyndon Arthur, but I'll leave it at the top five with Craig, right? Now, if I was to, you know, they got Callum number one, and I know why they got Callum number one, right? You know, he's 32. He's older. Him and Craig are the same age. The reason why he's number one is because he was a former world champion, which the others have not yet done. He's a former world champion. Joshua Boatsy is on the doorstep, but not there, right? And also, he won the World Boxing Series, and he's the most high-profile one on the world stage. He's on the world stage. He's there, but he did it at super middle. He didn't do it at light heavyweight. That's something to think about, right? So he moved up to light heavyweight, but he hasn't done nothing at light heavyweight. He ain't done nothing. But Yard, on the other hand, he's fought twice at world level. He's the only one in the world light heavyweight in that ranking who fought twice at world level, even though he's lost. So, because you fought at world level, if you lost at world level, in my opinion, when you fought at world level, if you lose, you go back down to European. That's the way I see it. European, or you can stay on the world level, depending on who you fight. World level and thing is depending on who you fight. So I'd change the ranking like this if I had it. Because Callum Smith hasn't fought anything, even though he's come up the way. I can see why they got him number one. But I'd probably have number one or two. Maybe I've had probably Joshua Boatsy number one, right? That's why I'd have at number one. And I've probably Anthony Yard at number three. I'll probably put Craig Richards, because Craig Richards went the distance with Demetrius Bivol. He went 12 rounds with him comfortably, right? Now he gave him a good fight, and people like, wow. So he went 12 rounds. So I put him number two, and I'll put Anthony Yard number three, and then I'll put Callum Smith number four, and then I have Dan Aziz number five. That's the way I'd rank it because of what they've done at light heavy, which Callum hasn't done anything. What's your take on what I've said? And how would you, out of them top five, where would you put them?
Yeah, well, I think Yard, if we can agree, and I think I do agree with you on that Yard didn't really deserve to be at world level, fight at world level in the first place due to the resume being not deep enough. Then you have to question, why would he be above somebody who have what is it? Dan Aziz already got an English title. Yeah, Dan Aziz is doing it the proper way.
Yeah.
So why, like, Dan Aziz, I put Yard at the bottom of those pile, because number one, Craig Richard, he went the distance with Bivol. Dan Aziz win a good strap, and the other man being at what is it with Callum already been world champion. You know,
but
so
but not at light heavy, but at super middle. But yeah, go on.
Yeah. So it's like that. I don't know. As I said, I do see the point, and I agree with the point that Yard got to world level because of good management. You know, Gary said something along those lines. If it's talking about a management thing, then that is the way you want to do it. Get him to world level as soon as possible with taking no damage. But really and truly, what did you do to get there?
Yeah. That's it. But that's it. This is why I've been the category about bums. You see what I'm saying, Alex? Yeah. Where you fight names, but these names have never been tested, and like you've never been tested, but you should beat them. I mean, you should be able to beat these guys, but we know you're good, but we want to see you get tested in a way to help you win the world title and keep it. You see, winning the world title is it's almost like going to the NBA. When a lot of players get selected to go to the NBA drafted, number one, number two, number three, regardless, right? You're drafted in the NBA, it's the best thing in your life. But to staying in the NBA, that's a whole nother thing. And see, with Yard getting to the world title, even if you win it, you've got guys waiting on the door coming. And you're matching. This is what it is. And you said matchmaking. He said they done a great job of matchmaking, right? Yep. So they've matched you all the way to the top, right? Yep. So they done a great job of matchmaking you and got you to the top. But really and truly, you're gonna fail, bro. Because you know why? But this is the thing, right? Even though he got matchmade to the top, this is something I feel they could have done. They could have invested the money in the quality sparring. That's where I think they would have bridged the gap, in my opinion. You get me?
But what you have to understand, like me as a fighter, all I knew was hard sparring, and it wasn't the right way. I never developed how I should have developed. And the reason these guys with a lot of experience are beating guys with less experience like Yard, I don't think is necessarily because of the sparring. I think it's because of the competitive experience. Because every of the 300 fights that man like Better BF have is going to be hard, but you're doing it in a competition. I don't really think that them man spar. I don't know, but Yard should have had his hard sparring. But just remember, even if the man that have 300 contests never have no hard sparring, he have the experience of going into deep waters. in some of those 300 fights. You see?
No, but yeah,
So-
but there's a proven method to this, right? What I'm saying to you, right? I'll give you an example, and I'll go by this because it's common knowledge that everyone knows. When Mike Tyson came out of the Junior Olympics, he won. They knew they were going to turn him pro. They had him spar pros. You understand? Professional athletes who were better than him when he was an amateur. You see what I'm trying to tell you? Because he knew that. If you remember, for you to go to that level, you need to go against guys better than you. Not talking about hard sparring. We're not talking about you getting beaten up. I'm talking about you learning against guys that are better than you, so you can do you understand? Yeah. So when I'm talking about Anthony Yard, I'm talking about people like Pascal. Right, these are guys on the world scene or former world champions will give you a tough test, but you should be able to beat them. You see what I'm saying to you? And I feel
that's definitely necessary.
That's what I feel like where it was missing in the camp. They never invest in top tier world level sparring. They never did that. It's never been done. I tell you why, because I hear that they were training. You know, Richard David. They were training down in his gym with other amateurs. They train other amateurs until they say we don't like spar. We don't spar. So we don't. I
heard those as well about they don't like.
No, but if you're gonna but you see, whether they're lying or not, the fact of the matter is they're saying that. So if you look at most of the guys to get to world level, you either fight a former world champion or you spar former world champion to help you get ready for your day. And I feel like even though he looked cagey, Yard fought cagey, but in the method of taking the world title, he missed that little grit in that situation, but he did well. You know, give him credit, he did well, but I just feel that the list that missed that little grit. Take it, you know, him and Tunde, like you said, they got there, well managed, like they said, but really and truly, manage is one thing, but winning over that level is another thing. And these days, unlike Rich's days and some not Rich's days, Gary Logan's days and them days, you couldn't get out of world level. They won't. The country wouldn't let you. You had to go British, Commonwealth, European, and then you'd get up. They believed in the graduation phases. These days, you can get a world title belt, world title ranking by getting a WBO interim belt and get yourself a world ranking. Easy. So there's easy world.
That's a shame, because I tell you what.
Well,
obviously it is good for people who, you know, to make a money out of it. You know, I don't begrudge none of that. But one of the reasons I come to work in boxing is because I like that structured progression, the performance, the pathway. You know, like if you're looking at Thai boxing or MMA, or you can have a 1-2 fight and fight for some nonsense strap. You know, I know that's not the same as the boxing straps, but at the same time, as I said, you should have to go through, you know, the southern area, the British, you know. I think that's it's a shame, man.
But that's basically what it is. I mean, in the amateurs level, why you think in the amateurs they have the tournaments, yeah? But even in the tournaments, before you put your guys in the tournament, you can give your fighter as many bouts as possible. You see what I'm trying to say? You don't have to put them in tournaments. Everyone's rushing to put their guys in tournaments when really and truly, some of them are in tournaments with guys with 15 or 20 bouts over them. 50 bouts when you get out of London. And your guys only got 7 bouts. So how's you're not really giving your guy a chance to win, really? When you really could have built your fight, especially got home shows, you could build your guy on the home shows and build up the fan base. Build up the fan base on the home shows. Then you go away and then you slowly, by about 2-3 years, the guy's got 30-40 fights. Enough experience now. Now, when he goes in the tour, he should win. He should win because he's got all that experience he's carrying with him. But the only problem is, how long does he stay in amateur boxing? Is he going to stay in amateur boxing long? So a lot of times people rush through in amateur boxing because they don't know if this guy's going to stay long. So that you run through the thing, or man want to turn pro and whatever. So even in boxing, you never know where the guy is. And then, like you said, anything could happen in boxing. It's still boxing, and anyone could get injured. But when you're on the pro level with Anthony Yard, and he's been like how many year pro? I think he's been about like a 5-year pro. They keep talking about limited amateur experience, yeah. But your thing is, they keep saying that. But why don't you give him the experience to make him fight now? No, you know what I mean? That's my whole thing. Why don't you give him the knowledge that when he gets there, that he's gonna win? Because every time he gets to the top now, he's getting used to losing when him step up now. I see him face, I keep going against these hard Russians. It's getting hard. Yeah, you're 31. You're not 20 something no more. You're 30. You're not talking about the young guy. He's a baby. There's no baby in boxing to me. Only in the amateurs. That's the way I see it. So now you're not a baby no more. There's no excuses no more. You know what I mean? He done well, but your team, he likes his team. That's the guy's teams he's gonna go with. But at the end of the day, yeah, you know, for you to climb the mountain and go over the mountain, sometimes you have to leave your comfort zone. And it's not necessarily comfortable to do that, but that will take you over the hill. And I feel that's where he's at the minute. He's at the crossroads. Do I stay with my team and keep it there, keep it local, or do I break free and try to get a whole new team around me, a world class team around me to get me where I need to go? You know, that's what he has to decide, because he's paying the price and he's paying the bills. Because in the day, when it's all said and done, man, the call your phone when you sit there. There's loads of fighters, yeah, when their phone was ringing up every minute, and now when they're not fighting, no one called them. You know what I mean? Let's talk about the next fight after, car. Eubank, and thing. So Eubanks lodged a complaint about the elbow being thrown, a Muay Thai elbow. You know about the Muay Thai, a Muay Thai elbow thrown by Liam Smith. I thought, yeah, it's a legit elbow. Now I'm gonna put it out there already. It's a legit elbow, and I made a video on it previously. It's a legit elbow. He elbowed him, elbowed him in the combination. Whether now, if you ask me if it's intentional, I say yeah, it's intentional, but it happens in boxing. Yeah, these things happen, you know, and the guys just get along with it. The elbow hit him, right? A rest of the combination, uppercut, left hook, right hook, whatever, put him down on the ground. Now, okay, clearly you see the elbow in the combination. My thing is this, yeah, I understand that, but okay, what you do? You know he elbowed you. What you do? What you want to do now? Do you want to complain? If you complain, does it look weak? Or I understand why you complain, or because you don't complain, well, you have a rematch clause. We'll go fight him again and go give him payback. But if you fight him again, do you really believe you can win him? And see Eubank, he's another one. He's another one. I won't put him in the same category as Yard, because Yard is in. Eubank is another one that every time he step up, he lose. Let's go back. Billy Joe Saunders, he lose against him. In terms of, like, actually, to be fair, I have to be fair. He beat James DeGale. He beat Arthur Abrahams, and he beat who else? Ildridge. He beat some good names in it. I'm not gonna say he's completely rubbish, right? And he did win the British belt. So I can't say every time he step up he loses, but every time in terms of the best level, the highest level. So let me cap it at the highest level. Eubank loses. So he lost to Billy Joe Saunders, and he lost to George Groves, and now he just lost the thing and he's been stopped. So he's got to the point where at the highest level where he should really win, because I thought he was going to win this fight. He's lost. So you have to look at it. If I go back in there, I could lose again. You know what I mean? So you have to look himself in the mirror, and yeah, the man elbowed me. All right, but you said he was dirty. So now what? You know, do I complain to the British board and and you don't get, you know, nothing's gonna come out of it? Or do I take the rematch? And I think he's got a week, by the way, to do the rematch. To take the rematch, I feel say you take the rematch and you stop playing around about you only come in 50% and make yourself come in now. But the thing is, the problem is he's a natural super middleweight, but he don't like it, but because the guys hit harder, so he drain up himself down because he look weak. But why? But if you're not a middleweight, then you can't really take that fight there. So maybe you fight super middleweight. So he has to really seriously look at his career. But I don't think at this point, even if you complain, nothing's gonna come off it. What do you think, Alex?
Nothing, man. Nothing should come off it, and he shouldn't complain, man. Take it like a man, and that's enough. You make yourself look like a fool, man. And why are you complaining about that? It's boxing, you know. Don't complain about that. And the reason you went down that easy is because, as you just said, he's not a 160 fighter. that man must walk around about, I don't know, 80 kilo. Let's say he walk around 80 kilo. That fight was made at what? 160 pounds. What's that? You know, that's 70. That's less than 7. That's about 70 kilo. The man's not a 160 fighter. No way. I think that's the lightest he ever did fight. When they were talking about the Conor Benn fight, they were talking about 157. He was going to make 157, and at the time, people were saying the lowest he ever fought was 160. The lowest he ever fought was 160, and that was how much years ago. Man, mature. You know, he That's the reason. That's the reason he couldn't take the punch. And furthermore, what I think about Eubanks is, you know, everybody get drawn in by the hype. Me too. He just become a good actor. You know, he need to go back to basics, and that's my grievances. I said with this trainer. If you're that good, yeah. If you're that good a trainer, nobody gonna say you wasn't one of the best boxer. But if you're that a good trainer, you should spot those things. You know, the man don't look like he ever learned to box. The man don't look like he ever learned to throw a proper jab. I don't know how he did good back in the day. I don't know how he did good back in the day. I can't remember his fights. But when he fighting now, his hand down there by his waist, his everything's rubbish. Like he don't look like he learned to box. You know.
Well,
so if I was Roy Jones Jr., you know, what I would do is I would teach him how to jab. I'd teach him how to keep my hands on my head and teach him how to throw a nice, you know, double jab 1-2, double jab 1-2 left, bread and butter. You know.
Well, good point. You know, but he brought Roy Jones, and Roy Jones is known for keeping his hands down because he had that reflexes, and Eubank was trying to do the stuff. But you see, the thing is, the problem is that work, when Roy Jones was exceptionally fast. You see, with Eubank, he's old. He's in it. Wait a minute. He's in his 30s. See, he work when you're young. Like you said, when you get older, them things catch you up, and you see that lack of the. But listen to this, right? Now I'm gonna show you something. When Roy Jones go back against her, he never does that stuff though. That that weaving that Eubank did, he's a taller guy. You're taller than Liam. Why are you ducking down, bringing your head down in the corner? That wasn't Roy Jones. That was him. That was nothing to do with Roy Jones or Roy Jones trained. Because if you see Roy Jones as a top level amateur, he should have won the gold medal, and he got robbed out there, right? As a top level amateur, when he go back, his hands are up. He don't duck down there like that. He let you tee off on his hands, on his high guard. He don't bring his head down. That mistake was all entirely Eubank putting himself in the corner. He was jumping in and jumping out. I don't blame Roy Jones for that, because obviously he's a trainer. He's gonna get criticized. But Roy Jones, when he was there, he never got himself in any corner. If he did, he'll tie you up immediately. Eubank did that, right? Because he's been doing that against subpar competition. And he thought Liam was that guy. But Liam, when he fling them punches, because remember, Liam was feeling like a madman, but it was educated pressure he threw. And the elbow came with it. The elbow came with it. And Eubank never expected that barrage. That's why the shock was on his face. He's like, yo, what that liquid. But you see, you underrated that was you. Yeah, I want this. You see when he come to the corner, you see his arm all jag up. He's like, yo, and you see, now you're going against a world level. Remember, even though I don't rate Liam world title, because he won the world title against a guy who got knocked out a fight before, right? It was a WBO, because Frank Warren's got ties in WBO, but it's a world title he won nonetheless. And he defended it 3 times, then he got stopped against Canelo. But he's been a world champion on paper at world level, right? And fought Canelo. So even though he's lost, and you're gonna get something out of the losing, innit? You're gonna learn, right? When it's your bite of the cherry, you're not gonna let a man off, and that's what happened. His experience got over you. He got more experience over you, Bank, and he got him. But that whole thing, I won't blame Roy Jones for that, because I blame Eubank, him himself. He's the one who did it to himself, drain himself, put himself in the corner, and bring his head down to the smaller man's height, that's a no-no. You know, if I train a fight, if you're tall, what are you bringing your head down for? You don't need to bring your head down. You know, you could tie a man up or keep high guard. You don't make yourself shorter when you're tall. And if a trainer train you that way, that's wrong. You know, so yeah, go ahead, give me a take.
What I was gonna say is, you know, Roy Jones Jr. All right, Roy Jones Jr. If he's as good as a trainer as he was a fighter, then he should have spot those flaws from early. You know, that Eubanks is not doing the basics. So he should understand that just because he moved the way he can move, 90% of athletes and boxers can't move like that. And as a trainer, you have to know that. You have to know that if you're a good trainer. Like, test a man in the gym, you know. So he didn't look like he understand that Chris Eubank can't move like him. And if Chris Eubank is trying to move like him, he should be the one to tell him, look, you need to adapt the thing for to suit you. You know, you can do all of the fancy stuff after you set it up properly with a jab and with a hard one too. And you have long reach, you got a bit of power, so stick to the straight punches. You know, you got a bit of sting. So set it up properly and then do the fancy shit. Don't try and just rely on that just because he used to do that. And he never even do it like that, Roy Jones.
He did.
But if he's that, if he's a trainer, yeah, and understand about athlete development and making a boxer, then he should have, in my opinion, he should have get on top of that.
Yeah, but sometimes I realize a fighter, he beats to his he moves to his own beat of his own drum. Follow what the trainers, because the trainer told him to keep
one of the biggest thing that people credit Roy Jones for and say maybe it's a good idea that Eubank go with him is because he will demand the respect. He will demand respect, and either is my way or you go long. Yeah, so either is my way or you go long. You don't, you know, so a ton of your yard, you know.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. He got with it because he's the only guy that he could respect, right? That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah, yeah. But you see, he didn't show Roy Jones much respect after the thing, you know. I pointed out in the court, look how he's done in you, Roy Jones. Roy Jones tell him to sit down. He said, "No, I don't want to sit down." Whatever Roy Jones tell him said, "Nah." He showed his real colors. Roy Jones was surprised. And you see Roy Jones doing the interview, Eubank was nowhere around. In my opinion, Eubank's blaming him. He's blaming my man, say, you fought, I lost. You see, he's that type of guy, you know. To me, he's that type of guy that he now sees his own fault. Like after the Billy Joe Snow, after the George Groves fight, he said he won the fight. His dad said, no, son, you lost. He goes, really? He goes, yeah. And so he live in a delusion where he's taking the mic, saute. You know, you got to saute yourself, man. You got to saute. You know what I'm saying?
Saute yourself, mate.
Yeah, you got to saute yourself. But yeah, so you back.
EJ, I got my bed, man. I'm getting up early. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. All right. Hey, bless Alex. Yeah, you take care. Thanks for coming over.
Nice one, man.
All right, take care. Bless her. All right, man. So yeah, where was I now? So yeah, look, end of the day, look, that was Alex. Yeah, he come over. He just giving his take and stuff like that. I was waiting for some more people to jump over. Let me see what people are saying. Don't really say that. Craig Richards won more rounds against Bivol than Canelo and Gilbert Ramirez put together. See, did he? Oh yeah, but he still lost though. Yeah, but I give it though. But Bivol wasn't that guy at that time, innit? Until when he beat Canelo, he became that guy though. But that you bring a good point though. That's a good point. But yeah, we have this fight coming up here. Let me see what's going on now. We have this fight coming up. Was it the word? Yeah, we have this fight coming up, and I expect to be a good old fashioned heavyweight slugfest out here. It'll go to. I think there's a possibility that it'll go the distance, and you know, as a professional, Zhang Zi powers comparable. But Joe Joyce is definitely on the ascent, and he's younger. But I think it's very good matchmaking for the Juggernaut. I think this is someone that he's gonna respect, and someone, you know, he's gonna come with a good game plan, and he can look good against, you know. And Zhang Zi is gonna be busy. He's very, very durable, tough guy. He's gonna be there. He's the wall of China. He's gonna be there, bro. You know what I'm trying to say? So I think overall that fight is gonna be very interesting. That's it. What's Eddie Hearn doing again? Oh, they're talking about Eddie Hearn versus the MMA fighter, heavyweight. I don't know about that, man. It's going to be very interesting for Joe Joyce to see how he's going to fare against one of the top opposition. But I tell you what, though, he's learning the right way. He's going against top guys. Can he lose? Yeah, it's a possibility, but I don't think so. I think Joe Joyce fights in the correct manner. This is a fight that he can box and look good again. He doesn't have to actually exchange with this guy, stand with him. He can actually start boxing with him, because Zhang Zi, yeah, he probably wants that. He probably wants Joe Joyce to stand with him in exchange, like Figueroa. And you know, if it's a close fight, they'll probably give it to Joe Joyce. But Joe Joyce is the type of guy, he goes in to stop you. You know, he hits hard, man. But this is definitely a guy that is going to be a tough test for him. It's a hard fight for Joe Joyce and a good fight for the fight fans. And we look forward to it. It's a shame that this Zhang Zi didn't get on the world scene earlier. You know what I'm trying to say? In terms of top fights to do with management, because I think he was with Golden Boy for a while and other top promoters. But it's the same. I'm happy that they bring him over, and Joe Joyce is getting the top thing. He's been matched by the WBO, and I think it's a very credible fight for the fight fans and for the heavyweight division. Fury wouldn't fight someone like this. I couldn't see Fury fighting someone like this. You know what I mean? This guy's tough guy. And that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. I'm still waiting for other people to turn up, but I don't think I was waiting for Dan the Man. I messaged him. I don't know where the rest of them guys are. Let me see where they go. Yeah. Nah, Dan the Man and the rest of the guys are not there. They're not around. They must be busy working and stuff like that. So I guess that's it, man. You guys, any other comments you want to leave? There's only a few of you watching. I think this fight's not getting no big push at the minute, but yeah, well, it's happening. Joe Joyce will defend his WBO title, interim title, that is, versus Chinese Wall, the Chinese giant Zhang Zi. No one really knows who he is, so if we don't get no big hits on this one, understandable. Like, it's not really getting that much traction, but 100%. I picked Joe Joyce by decision, unanimous decision to win this fight here. So it was okay. All right. So anyway, I ain't got nothing else to say, you guys. I'm gonna log out now. So hope you guys have a blessed week, and I will talk to you later. Take care. Peace.